This next video is very similar to the question that we looked at before. However, this time we're looking at a minus x squared. So minus x squared implies that our shape of our graph is going to be in the shape of a sad face. So remember to draw this part first before you start the question. So we've got a negative x squared, so we're hoping for a sad face. The next step is we set all of this equation equal to y. So y is equal to minus x squared plus 6x minus 9. So we want to find the y-intercept. Well, in general, the y-intercept is always this last number here. This is equivalently our c that we had in our straight line graphs. However, if you're struggling to understand why this is, well, think about our axes. We know that it crosses the y-axis whenever x is 0, similar to what we did when we want to find where it crosses the x-axis. So it crosses the y-axis when x is 0, which means that this term goes to 0, this term goes to 0, leaving us with y is minus 9. The next step to find the x-intercept is we need to factorise this equation. So we know that we're going to have two brackets, and we know that we've got a minus x in one of them and an x in the other to give us our minus x squared. We also know that factors of 9 are 9 times by 1 or 3 times by 3. However, the only ones that have a connection to 6 are 3 and 3. So we know that we're going to have a 3 and a 3 in here. However, to work out the signs here, we have to be very careful. So we know that we've got minus 3x and 3x at the moment. However, we want to have positive 6x. So if I put a minus here, we've got minus x times by minus 3, which gives me positive 3. And then I've also got positive here. So just double check that this works when we factorise all of this out, and it should give us the correct answer. Remember, to find where it crosses the x-intercept, we know that y is equal to 0 at this point. So let's set y equal to 0. Which gives us this equation here. Well, when y is equal to 0, we know that at least one of these equations is also equal to 0 because they're timesing together, and 0 times anything always gives me 0. So let's say minus x plus 3 equals to 0 and x minus 3 equals to 0. This gives us just one answer of x equals to 3. So this is our intercept. We only have one intercept here at x equals to 3. The next thing we want to do in order to find minimum or maximum points is complete the square. So when I complete the square for this, I would take extra precaution in the fact that we've got this negative. So we have negative x squared plus 6x minus 9. Take this negative out before we start. Now complete the square. So hopefully this is all making sense how I'm doing this. So if I simplify this, I get minus x minus 3 all squared because the 9 and the minus 9 will cancel. So you can tell me that the maximum value or the minimal value that we can get, well, the maximal value, because this is negative, is 0. Is when this bracket is equal to 0. So if x minus 3 equals to 0, then x equals 3 is my maximum point because all of the points will be less than this. So x equals to 3 is my maximal point. Okay, if you're struggling to understand why that is, have a think in the fact that anything I plug in here is going to be positive, but then I've also got this negative outside. So then it's going to be negative, which is less than 0. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to sketch this graph. Okay, this shouldn't be too hard now because we've got all of our information in these boxes. So it crosses the y-axis at minus 9. We know it crosses the x-axis at 3, which is also our maximal value. So here we can see that it's going to jump on that point and then jump off. So this would be my graph, and you can see it's a negative x squared, which is a sad face, and this is our maximal point up here at x is equal to 3. Okay, hopefully that made sense, and have a look at my next video if you're still struggling.